welcome to Pegwarmers. I'm Kevin.
I'm Tony from Act the Movies.
And I'm Ryan from Monster FX.
And we're here to talk about toys. Today, we're talking about Last Action Hero.
Oh my God, yes!
Big mistake.
Big mistake.
Oh, it's such an amazing movie.
I love this movie. I covered it on my show with my co-host Crystal. I really like it. Some inconsistencies with the magic.
A little bit, yeah.
The ticket. It's like, okay, the ticket will bring you into the movie. But is it the movie or is it movie world? It gets real. They start to blur the line when the cartoon cat shows up. Other than that, there's a lot of inside jokes. I think it was ahead of its time in certain ways.
Well, we didn't see Jack Slater 1. Maybe the cat was in that movie.
That is 100% true.
So this toy line came out in 1993 by Mattel. And they did a fairly good job of, as far as movie toy lines go, of like creating stuff that looks like it was in the movie. There's a few little inconsistencies, but overall, it's characters that are scene specific or like, you know, features that mostly make sense. They did stretch it a little bit here with a few of the guys, but overall, it's a pretty good line, and the Arnold likeness is great.
Yes, the Arnold, it looks a lot like Arnold.
I don't know if he's done a lot of, toy Terminator, all this stuff.
Yeah.
This is like one of the best.
Yeah.
Like the body, everything is so nice.
Especially
it's just
for
so
that era.
accurate, yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll start with Jack Slater, because there's a whole bunch of Jack Slaters.
There's a
in this.
million
so
Jack
many.
Slaters.
The I don't know, I guess the piece de resistance of the collection is the talking Jack Slater, the 15-inch action figure.
I love
here.
that so much.
And it talks, because he's saying, I really talk.
I really talk.
Much like Cyclops also has to say on his box, hey, I could really talk.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I didn't doubt you.
We believe you. Yeah.
I believe you. I've seen the movie. I heard you talk.
Yeah.
That is awesome, though.
So the smaller figure line, the like 5-inch figures, half of it was versions of Jack Slater. You had Dynamite Jack, which is this figure right here, right?
Which looks like the movie Jack Slater.
Yeah, it's the movie Jack Slater. I think I have a carded one up over here.
That's like his standard look in the movie.
He's got the red shirt, the jacket, the jeans. The one problem with that figure is he's got the dynamite throwing feature built into him, so he never really looks like a normal person. He's always got this hand out that's like not going to hold a weapon, not going to do like it just is.
What is he? Looks like he has weights. Does he lift weights with those?
He comes with weights. He can just throw a whole bunch of different objects.
Oh.
The dynamite is the one he actually does in the movie,
Yeah.
but yeah, he comes with some weights. He comes with a brick wall piece. There's just a bunch of junk.
It looks like he's about to dribble a basketball. That's not
Yeah.
That does kind of look like that.
He could dribble basketballs with Lola Bunny here.
There we go.
They're gonna hang out.
But overall, it's a nice looking figure. Unfortunately, so many toy lines hamper a figure with an action feature that just kind of makes them look bizarre. The next one is Heat Packin' Jack, and that's this one here who has this monstrosity backpack.
And this is the only one. The only one I had as a kid was this one.
It really looks like one of the mech suits from Aliens
Yeah,
or something.
he's got,
I think that's why I bought
loader
it.
on. No, this is a pretty decent figure as far as it doesn't have any wacky features built into the figure. The feature is all just a removable backpack.
Yeah.
But he has like a battle damaged shirt.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. He doesn't use that in the movie.
No, he does not use
not
this.
use
I
that in the
wish.
movie.
It's got an eyepiece, a
Laser
chainsaw,
I mean, that would
a
have been
missile
awesome.
launcher.
Would have been so cool. They could have made a joke about how it only exists to sell a toy.
Yeah.
They actually, in the toy commercials, they sort of reenact a scene from the movie where the Ripper's got his son up on the ledge, but they use the Danny figure and the Ripper's there, and then this Jack comes in and gets a cage dropped on him, he cuts his way out of it, and then shoots the Ripper off the... I mean, it's so over the top, and if you saw the toy commercials first, you're expecting that kind of thing to happen in the movie.
Yeah, I would be very let down if I saw the movie and that wasn't in there.
Not quite what happens there.
I think the of all the movie posters in the history of movie posters, The Last Action Hero is the most exciting, most interesting, like jam-packed full of action posters that I've ever seen in my entire life.
It does have your classic action hero font, like your Indiana Jones style font there. Him and the kid are swinging. His bicep is about to explode. We see a cartoon cat, the bad guy,
A dinosaur.
from Alien 3, all these other actors, and then we see like Hamlet. And, yeah, it's all
It's
over the
wild.
place.
Got
Yeah.
a lot there.
There's no dinosaur in the movie.
No.
There's like a statue of a dinosaur, but the artwork doesn't make you think that. It makes you think there is a dinosaur.
Yeah,
in
when
the
I
movie.
was little, this is the first poster that was on my wall, and I like it was a couple years before I actually saw the movie. I just
Yeah.
played with the toys. I was like, oh wow, does he fight a dinosaur? Does he have a chainsaw and I can't understand what this movie's about.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember like covering your books in school? You put the brown paper
Yeah.
bag over
Oh
to
yeah,
protect.
yeah.
So my school, when this movie came out, got a stack of Last Action Hero book covers. Just
Oh
this, like
man,
Oh,
plastic,
cool.
like vinyl-y wrapper
Yeah.
thing.
You
And
lucky rascal.
everybody at my school had their books covered in this thing. The front had the poster and the back had the toys on it. And I knew so many kids that had it like hanging up in their room, the book cover itself, because you could just go down to the library and ask for one.
I remember. Sorry, you know the superhero team Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Remember they had a show
Oh,
on
yeah.
WB17 in
Yeah.
like 2001, 2002. My first high school I went to, so this is like 2004 and 2005. I guess at some point they got those covers. So like that show lasted 12 episodes. It got canceled. Years later, guys are walking around with Birds of Prey like book covers.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Then we got Undercover Jack,
Now
which
this
is a little bit questionable.
he looks like a flasher, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Definitely looks like a flasher. He's got this giant hard shell
Yeah.
overcoat on him.
Is that like left over from like a Ninja Turtles?
That's what
toy?
it kind of looks like. Yeah,
It's not, but it seems like it should be.
Yeah.
And it's not very scene specific at all, but he can, when you squeeze his legs, he's going to bust out of the trench
Okay.
coat.
Whoa!
And he's got his police badge and some handcuffs in there. And then he's got a bulletproof vest on. So this one's a little different.
What does the vest say? MPD.
MPD.
Was it like Metro Police?
Yeah,
something
Metro
like
Police,
that.
something
Yeah.
like that.
But they were in Los Angeles. Because he says, like, every girl here is beautiful. He's like, this is Los Angeles.
So anyway, another nice version. They little less screen accurate because I don't think he wears a bulletproof vest, but not this one in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's at least a decent feature. Like if you gave him a weapon, he could draw the gun.
Yeah.
Showing his badge is good. There's actually two variations of this: one with a white chain and one with a black chain.
Okay.
Okay.
I noticed yours is the black chain. Mine's the black chain. So maybe the white chain's more rare. I'm not really sure.
You can put your kid through college with that white chain one.
White chain one. And then I guess the last version of Jack that got released is Skull Attack Jack.
Which is Hamlet.
Yeah, Hamlet.
Because in
which
the
is
movie,
so funny.
The kids watching Hamlet on
We're all
TV.
gonna hold up our
At school.
Hamlets.
The
Yep.
Laurence Olivier, and we all have Hamlets here. I have like the least accessories with mine, and my spring is broken on it.
Oh,
The kid's watching Hamlet, the Laurence Olivier one, and then he fantasizes about what would happen if Jack Slater was Hamlet, and those geniuses made an action figure, and I'm like, that
It's
is
amazing.
perfect. So I have it on my set.
I
all
wish
the
I brought
time.
my my loose Hamlet too. We could have 4 Hamlets together.
It's definitely one of the more fun action
Yeah.
figures, and this one had to have confused again. A kid who hadn't seen the movie yet and sees this toy is like, he's got a sword.
Yeah.
He's got a skull. Like what? How does this fit in?
His belt has grenades on it. Like it's wild and ridiculous.
Something's right in the state of Denmark. To be or not to be. Not to be. Like a big explosion. Such a good scene.
Your main kid, the kid avatar character for all the people watching the movie, so they can identify with somebody. You got Danny with a giant grappling hook,
Yep.
which I think I remember that scene, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
of
We all
course.
remember the
Who doesn't
grappling
remember
hook scene.
Danny shooting a grappling hook and that's it.
It's a decent looking figure of the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
and
terrible.
not hampered by a built-in action feature, so
Yeah.
that's kind of nice.
By the way, can we talk about the artwork on the back that
Yeah.
makes the figures look way more articulate than they
yeah.
are?
They're like leaping. They almost look like
yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can get Skull Attack Jack to leap.
ballerina Arnie.
Nope, not
No.
doing it. Not
Not
doing
quite.
it.
Yeah, the cross-sell art is interesting. It looks like just like sketches the designers might have created of like, hey, we should make these figures before engineering made them have no articulation.
Oh, wait. Does each one have the Slater's Creed on it?
Yes.
Yeah, hold on. The Slater's Creed. In real life, guns and violence are a big mistake. Play it smart. Never play with real guns. Jack Slater, America's toughest cop.
Oh man, and I wonder if that's why, like, if they anticipated being in trouble for like all the violence in this, that they didn't have any guns or anything like that, like that a kid could hold, like play toys, like.
Yeah, well, what was that thing with like the Megatron, the original Megatron gun?
Yeah,
Oh,
they were
yeah.
told
Turned
they
into a
won't make
gun,
any
yeah.
more Megatrons.
It was funny how like
guns.
the 70s and 80s was like all about guns, and like the 90s they started like, all right, let's make the guns goofier.
Yeah.
As soon as that kid got shot with the
Yeah.
Uzi Super Soaker
Mhm.
thing, Laramie
Yeah.
Super Water Gun, that
I
was the
get
end
it.
of it.
It's a liability.
That was the end of
I
it.
get it. But it's funny how they're like, there's this hard shift.
Yeah.
Well, this movie is so like ideal for kids, except for there's a ton of smoking and a ton of gun violence
Yeah.
in it. So it's like,
Well, it was meant for kids like me who
well,
was allowed
yes.
to
Yeah.
watch
and,
the.
and I get that it's definitely more for the like
Yeah.
12 and 13-year-old audience is really where it's aimed at, but
Yeah.
toys are aimed at the 6 to 8-year-old. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
the toys are aiming just younger than the actual movie is aiming for.
Yeah.
And so it makes for kind of a weird.
Yeah, for these to work
dynamic.
out, you'd have to have an older brother who's like 13, watch it, explained it to you, like, it's just amazing. I love this
Yeah.
movie. You're like, I love the movie too. I've never seen it, but it's pretty good. That's what my brother said.
So then we have two villains in the line. We
Yes.
have the Ripper.
who I actually got my picture with him at the last Monster Mania. I
Nice.
went
Did you?
to.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to meet him. Tom Noonan is
Tom
so
Noonan.
awesome. Oh.
So I don't know whether they hadn't finalized his costume.
Because
Because
what it looks
dressed
like.
He's dressed a little bit like Jack the Ripper here, which is funny because
swinging Ripper.
Yeah.
He doesn't wear that in the movie.
he wears like a raincoat.
He wears a
yellow jacket.
raincoat.
He wears
In
like a yellow
You're right.
raincoat.
He does look like he's like from the Victorian
He's
era.
got a top hat and this black jacket. I mean, the black jacket works, or the black cloak
Yeah.
works to hide the axe and kind of make his feature work. But the hat doesn't fit once he raises his axe. It has
You
to
knock
get
it right
knocked
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he just never wears a hat. So I'm not sure what they were going there. But otherwise, it looks a fair amount like the actor with
Yeah.
Yeah.
the way
Well,
they did him up for the movie.
Hold on. I'm looking at the you said there's unreleased
Yeah,
one.
we'll get to those.
Oh yeah,
guys.
no, it looks like that's the only.
Yep.
I was like, okay, maybe they were gonna do like a Victorian
Oh,
Ripper to match the Hamlet, and then there's a regular Ripper, but no, there's no
Nope.
regular Ripper.
No. Yeah, it's really bizarre. And
Yeah.
then we have Benedict, the
Mr. Benedict,
It's an evil eye Benedict or something
Yeah.
like that.
Benedict.
which they say in his evil eye roadster.
Yep. They made him a car.
Oh my god, it has the happy face, the
Yeah.
happy face from
Yep.
his eye.
It has a target and a happy face sticker.
Oh,
on there.
that's cool.
Beautiful.
But what I noticed is they made the wrong eye
Oh, yeah.
the prosthetic eye.
Interesting.
Oh shit.
It's on the wrong side.
Oh.
So if they had a photo that was flipped, or they just didn't
Maybe.
care.
It's kind of like the Nintendo Friday the 13th game.
Oh yeah.
There were rumors, at least, that they were basing it off the poster, which is kind of has a weird purple color
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah. Well, it's the wrong eye, so I'm gonna throw this in the trash.
So he comes with a bunch of guns. He has a pistol in his hand. He comes with a briefcase that has
Even more guns.
more weapons. There's some stickers. I think ideally they wanted you to like change his eye with stickers, but look how tiny his eye is.
It's so
Yeah.
small. Yeah.
That's too much. That's too much work. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have even attempted that.
But then his Roadster here, which has a lot of gold plastic on it, and there's a thing called gold plastic syndrome where a lot of toys that are made with that golden colored plastic break down over time. So
Oh.
I'm like slightly nervous that this is gonna break eventually.
Oh, yeah.
But there's
Ooh.
like a battering ram and a missile launcher that pops up. I can't imagine driving this
From
with
that very famous scene
from the
Yeah.
very famous
where
scene.
he was driving around with the battering ram and the
And
missile
his
launcher.
license plate is bad eye. Like bad guy. And then
That should be. I've had multiple eye injuries. Should that be my license plate? Bad eye.
I assume these are trip bars, so you can drive past Jack and knock him
yeah.
over. I guess they needed a signature vehicle
Do
for the
they
bad
usually
guy.
give like the bad guy such a cool car? I feel like
It's
the
a very
toys,
cool, like, very in-depth
You
vehicle.
feel like
Yeah.
you want to put the good guy in there, really.
Yeah.
Well, they covered that because
Yep.
they gave Jack his convertible.
Which
It
is
is
not
nice.
as yellow as it is on the box. It's more
So-
gold.
This
Yeah.
particular one actually came in as a mail-away offer. I have the
Okay.
the
Oh,
box
okay.
for it
Yeah.
behind me, and it came with the Dynamite Jack figure in the same
Okay.
package as it. So it looks like a pretty much normal convertible. It's got
Yeah.
space for two guys in there. but it has 2 built-in features. There is a... trying to remember how I trigger this thing. Oh, the exhaust pipe.
Okay.
Puts out a little wheelie bar so it can do that sideways.
I was watching.
That's cool.
I was watching commercials earlier today, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
And then you
Weird
also
feature.
get a bunch of the dynamite pieces that come with Dynamite Jack that
Okay.
you're supposed to put in the trunk. And when you push this down, it like
it's
throws
supposed to all
the
fall
dynamite out the back.
nice.
That actually is in the movie, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So it's a pretty good likeness.
interesting, yeah.
Again, the whole thing is that gold plastic, so I worry about these like breaking down someday.
yeah,
But it's a really nice screen accurate
Yeah.
vehicle. I think they did a
And yeah, it'll fit
Great job.
Danny and Jack
so
in
you
there.
can put Jack in here. Yep, I can fold his
Depends
legs.
legs.
This one maybe isn't the best version.
It's also just kind of a cool car to have.
And Danny with his missile launcher. Cover
Got
me.
my missile launcher in the movie.
So there you go. They can tool down the road.
very cool.
Danny, look out.
You know what the biggest letdown of that movie was? When Mr. Benedict is like circling all the movie monsters.
Oh yeah,
Like the Gary Oldman Dracula, and he's
Uh-huh.
talking about how he's gonna bring King Kong and Hannibal, and I'm like, oh man, I would have loved to have seen that.
that would be amazing.
Could you imagine if there was like cutscenes or things they planned
they
to
were
do
all,
in the,
like,
budget?
still-
Like,
It's not like if he did it now and they'd all be like CGI models. Like you could have gotten Gary Oldman at
Yeah,
that point,
yeah.
and that would have been really cool.
So there's a couple of commercials on YouTube for this toy line that show off things that didn't get produced.
No.
And we also noticed a bunch of them are shown on the back of Talking Jack.
Yeah.
So the biggest items was there was a playset, a police headquarters playset that never
Okay.
got released.
That would have been very cool.
The commercial's pretty quick, like any toy commercial, and they're
Yeah.
showing multiple toys. So it doesn't really show off what all the features are. It looks like there might be a missile launcher and some collapsible walls and things like that. But the back of this mentions hook launching. Oh, that hook launching actually we got. But kicking Jack Slater. So
Okay.
it's again another like standard Jack, but he's going to kick out to the side.
Okay.
Let me see. I did some research, tried to find some of the like retailer catalogs. He was going to come with a bulletproof vest accessory to actually match the scene where he pulls out the
Okay.
vest.
Okay.
He was going to come with a bullhorn, a riot shield, and a set of handcuffs. I assume the handcuffs were like a reuse from the
Yeah,
other figure.
Probably, yeah.
There was going to be a Benedict with the Rottweiler. So he's gonna have a
Okay.
big dog.
That would have been nice.
I think it's a repaint of the other figure. He has like a dark sleeve, like a dog training sleeve.
Okay.
Do you want Benedict with a Rottweiler?
There we go.
There, I got
We
the-
have it unproduced.
Yeah, I got the Rottweiler
Yes.
from the Alien 3, and you just put him there.
Perfect.
It's the biggest Rottweiler in the world.
You can
but-
ride it like a pony.
So the Rottweiler was gonna have like a spring-loaded chomping feature.
Okay.
Cool.
And that kind of makes sense. It's like a cheap repaint figure,
Yeah.
but has a new feature that's kind of fun, and it works because they do have Rottweilers in the movie. Again,
Yeah.
it's like they're not stretching too far with most of these things.
You can get them to form a pyramid.
Yes.
A pyramid of puppies.
Collect all 6 to make a pyramid.
There's a repelling Jack figure, which actually was the first time we got him in like another like a non-movie outfit, but he has a black T-shirt this time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And he comes with a grappling hook similar to Danny's.
Yeah.
Kind of a generic, kind of bland figure, to be honest.
Yeah, I did see the commercial. I think it was actually it might have been this guy here. Heat Packin' Jack was like painted black.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they just reused that
Yeah.
one. They were gonna do Leo the Snake, the police cat.
Oh!
Yeah, well, I
the-
found I guess somebody had the
Like a painted prototype.
yeah,
of
they
it.
painted the prototype. I'm
Oh,
like, that's
that
pretty
is
cool.
something I would love.
It's
Yeah.
probably the one from the toy commercial.
Probably,
Like,
yeah.
They probably only made a few of them.
Yeah.
Freaking Danny DeVito, I would have loved that.
But they
cool.
never released it.
Ah!
Yeah. And then there was also supposed to be a SWAT officer, a pretty generic police officer.
Okay. Yeah.
With like a helmet. I also heard that there was a police bike, but I couldn't find any photos of it. But it was in like a listing of unproduced
Okay,
things.
yeah.
Which I guess makes sense. Motorcycles are very popular, like toys
Yeah.
for kids.
What about his?
especially
Did
at
they
that
make a
time
figure about
with
his
Arnold.
second favorite cousin?
And then there were 2 talking figures. These are
Okay.
like deluxe figures.
Okay.
And I think they're just basic figures with a talking backpack.
Okay.
Which was a common thing in that
Yeah,
era.
kind of
Like-
like
like
Cyclops.
this.
Yeah, like Cyclops and the G.I. Joe Sonic
I
Fighters.
promise
and
I talk.
stuff. So there was a chair crashing Jack, which
Okay.
was the Undercover Jack where the arms spring up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he came with a collapsible chair, so
So you just break the
he
chair.
would break the chair of someone's
Oh
head.
man, if you had some wrestler toys, that would have
would
been
be cool,
fun.
yeah.
So the backpack for him makes like the chair crashing noise, and he says, "Heads up." And then the other figure was called Big Mistake Jack. He had a swivel punch action, so
Okay.
like we swivel him at the waist, kind of like a spring-loaded punch thing.
Yeah.
His backpack, it made punching sounds and said "Big Mistake," and he came with a riot shield and a flashlight.
Okay.
Accessories. So those things all didn't get produced. All decent ideas.
They didn't make any of his daughter, did they?
You know what
No,
I
that would've
think
been cool.
is a huge missed opportunity is they should have packed the daughter with her truck.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would have made
that
so
would've
much.
been
Yeah,
so
The
cool.
female figures don't sell that well,
Which
but
with
that
Bridget
truck
Wilson
is
Sanders.
awesome.
Yeah.
Kids would love
Yeah.
that truck.
Even if she ended up in the bottom of the toy box and you're playing with the
Yeah.
truck, like
The truck, I think, was a huge missed opportunity. The truck is cooler than the bad guy
Yeah,
car,
definitely.
for sure. And it's in the movie.
Then he could have repainted her a year or two later for Mortal Kombat.
There you go.
It's the same actress.
So, I mean, I think it's a pretty decent line. It's
Yeah.
a lot of Arnolds.
it's
Yeah.
surprisingly extensive. I mean, it's a lot of Arnold's, but it is very, very in depth.
And not as much repaint as you would expect, at least in the produced figures. I think once they got to that second, if they'd gotten to that second wave, we would have felt like, whoa, they really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the same
Kinda
Arnold
cheaping
head,
out.
Yeah.
maybe a lot of the same legs, but at least like they did the bulletproof vest, they did the ripped shirt, they did the jacket.
But you're right, they did promote it, even though it never got made.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. A lot of them are listed on there.
Yeah. Oh my God, his likeness in the deluxe figure is spot on.
It's pretty nice, yeah.
It's a really good
Yeah.
head sculpt.
Oh, what happened there? Did something happen?
No, I don't think.
Okay, it made a weird sound. I'm
I
sorry.
tried to talk. That old electronic crackle you get out of those toys these days.
Oh man, but yeah, I wonder. So why didn't they do a second line? Was it just not
I
selling?
assume they just didn't sell as much as they
Yeah,
wanted.
I think you're right. The target demographic for this, they're still seeing Jurassic Park at this point.
Yeah, and I think the Jurassic Park movie works better for that younger crowd. Like,
Yeah,
And their toy line was so nice.
very good.
yeah. This movie's funner like for adults because it's kind of a parody of all these over the top action thing. Whereas a kid,
I don't
mean,
think-
I loved it as a kid. But it is because I was watching these movies. So
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
appreciate it, the sort of parody aspect.
I
but
think there's a lot of it that's lost on the kids,
Yeah.
except for the stuff that's pointed out. Like I remember thinking the 555 phone number joke was really funny because
Yeah.
they spelled out to you, and I'm like, oh yeah, they do always do that. But like a lot of the other stuff that happens in the movie, when I saw it as a kid, like kind of went over my head, like how
Yeah.
over the top the explosions
Yeah.
are and some of that stuff. And then when you watch as an adult, you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is hilarious the
when
way
he's
they're doing it.
casually driving and just causing car accidents in the background.
Well, there's like even the premiere and stuff. Like it's a parody of Hollywood itself, and like there's so many cameos and weird
Yeah.
stuff in it. And like, I'm trying to think of not Pierce Brosnan, Timothy Dalton
Yeah.
is at the premiere, but he is blocked by other people. Like you can see his nose and like
Yeah.
so he's not even shown. But they had so many actors in. Like what?
Friggin' Maria Shriver was in it.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
And they got the T1000 to make a
Yeah.
cameo. There's a
Uh-huh.
lot
And
of
it gets
funny stuff.
existential toward the end with like Jack Slater realizing that
Oh, I
like,
love that.
he
That-
has no free will and he is a
Yeah.
product of someone else's imagination for pride. He doesn't know how to handle it. I can see kids being like, "Oh, this is making me think of my own
Uh-huh.
existence. Am I?"
Yeah, it's weird. 'Cause he's like, well,
I don't know if I want to buy the action
Yeah.
figure of him shooting the skull.
It's not as fun anymore.
I'm gonna go get the red T-Rex instead.
So one of the other things I noticed, and kind of a minor thing, but the card back here for Benedict
Ooh.
actually has the Rottweiler. In
Oh,
the
Oh yeah, it
artwork.
does.
But they didn't. So I don't know if sort of they had all of that planned, and then maybe decided it was too expensive.
Probably, yeah.
Oh wait, he got his own.
The bad guys got their own card backs, and all the
Oh.
heroes have Jack and Danny.
Okay.
So the Ripper has his own artwork without the jacket.
Ken, what the hell is that Ripper? That looks nothing like the
It's so
Ripper.
ridiculous.
But you know they used a nice little film motif on the
Yeah,
packaging. and
that's
stuff, which,
cool.
You know, I think it was a decent marketing, but just kind of a tough movie to sell the toys to that age group. I could see a lot of teenagers maybe picking up one of these just because they like Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
or whatever. But now it's very tongue in cheek, and
Yeah.
it's not a hard line to collect. In fact, I got like pretty much the whole line for like $150.
Oh, nice.
Now the guys were out of the package, but they
Yeah.
were all complete. I got the 2 vehicles. I don't have the talking guy that Ryan brought him and a bunch of these carded examples.
Yeah.
But they're not super hard to get.
Even the carded ones, I think some of these were only like 15 to $30 per per each one. I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah, so this is a fairly cheap line if you want to collect it, and most of the stuff's pretty common. I guess, probably the Slater variants are probably the ones you see the most, maybe, and like Danny. Whereas Benedict's maybe a little
this is
harder.
mine. This is the only one besides Arnold that I own.
Yeah.
Someone gave this to me.
I'd say Benedict and maybe Skull Attack Jack are the ones you see less in the package.
I would like to get a Benedict just because I like that actor.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. I mean, I was gonna say this toy. Was one of the first toys I remember picking out. I'm like, no, that's Arnold. I really want this one, and I love this toy line ever since I was little. It is so awesome.
Yeah, I think my first Arnold toy was the Terminator one where the shell pops up and he's the robot underneath. Cool.
My first Arnold was the Terminator with the switch out arms.
Oh,
I used to bring that to preschool every single day, and it's a miracle I never lost the arms.
I will say the talking Jack Slater just awoken a memory in me. What you call it? When Conan O'Brien had the Tonight Show, briefly, he did a video where he went to a flea market or a garage or yard sale, right? And I remember the two things I remember him buying was a Neil Diamond jazz singer movie jacket.
Ooh.
And a talking Jack Slater from last
That's
action
amazing.
year.
That's
He
awesome.
went to just buy the dumbest things he could find. But yeah, you're the second person I know who has a talking Jack Slater, and now I'm jealous of both of you.
You'll have to wrestle one of us for it.
The one of you, I think I lose both of those fights, to be honest.
So if you're a customizer and you want to make your own repelling Jack
Yeah.
or Rottweiler Benedict, get on it. These guys aren't that expensive.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
I can't believe I don't see more custom Last Action Hero toys on the internet.
Yeah, honestly.
This line is begging for it.
Yeah, the toys do seem forced. They really thought it was going to be bigger than it was.
It definitely seems like they thought this is going to blow up.
They had to have been just thinking because of Terminator 2
Yeah.
and how successful that toy line was that just Arnold meant printing money.
Yeah.
So
I get it. I get it. But obviously it did not hit. I'm sure people now want them.
and it's not any more mature than Terminator 2.
Yeah, really.
In all honesty, that's the funny part.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I guess if you guys want to premature plug here, but I did cover this movie and I went into full detail with it.
Yeah, so if you want to see all the nitty-gritty about it, check out Tony's episode.
Yeah.
Ryan, thanks for coming and being on. Anything you want to plug on this episode?
Just my company, Monster FX. We make fun, weird monster toys, foam toys,
I'm holding one right
Custom
now for the
toys.
podcast listeners. I'm holding
random
it.
crazy props, special effects for movies, and lots of other crazy nonsense.
Have you worked on any movies lately? Any movies about a barn that might be available?
The Barn 2 just came out on Blu-ray.
Yes, and I believe it's on Screenbox also.
It is.
I watched The Barn 2. Kevin, it's the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Do you have it here? Can I rent it?
I actually do. It's
All right.
actually not on the store set, but it actually is over there.
Yeah, we made that over the pandemic. Justin Seaman is an amazing director who made this great follow-up to his original film, The Barn. And it's way more fun than the original. It's way more gory than the original. It's got so many people, Doug Bradley and Joe
the
Bob
visual
Briggs.
effects are really good. And I
They
believe
are.
they were done by another frequent SEO.
SEO.
Wow, I went back in time. Another frequent Pegwarmers guest, Joe Lascola.
He did an amazing job and with very little time.
Yes.
You're an amazing man, Joe.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging on the peg with us.